vegetation, that it is just trees and nothing else. There's power lines that are over the road right now, and so going farther north is probably going to be a bit of a challenge here. Lines that are just snapped in half. But in the middle of this shot, and I know it's dark and the lightning flashes from time to time, but there is just a significant tornado that is up inside of this thing right here. There absolutely is. And I don't want to, obviously concern anybody, scare anybody, anything like that. But of all the radar signatures that we have seen so far this evening, this is the worst that we have seen. And by the way, there are storms in the Texas Panhandle that we have Michael and Nick on that are crossing, that will be coming into western Oklahoma. They're in the Texas Panhandle still, that are going to increase the tornado threat for those of us from Sayre to Elk City in about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And we'll get to those in a second. But I am very concerned for this cell that is moving up north of Helena towards Jet. Our rotation detector has maxed out its colors. It is extreme here. So this is not good. Let me go back over, look at our rotation, or I'm sorry, our debris. So it crossed over the highway. It's going to be just right there at the bend. And we do have that blue. I know that this is difficult to look at. It hurts our eyes a lot when you look at all of these different colors. But you see that little blue right there? That's debris that's inside of the storm. That could be power lines, that could be vegetation, whatever. But that is a confirmed tornado right there. That lines up with the velocity couplet here, right at the bend between Helena and Jet. And so I'm just going to track this velocity couplet here to see how close this storm is coming in. Oh my goodness. This is going to be so close to the community of Jet. Here's your tornado. Here's Jet. And looking at the track, if this does not come right into the community of Jet, this is going to be extremely close. It is turning a bit to the northeast, but this is going to be a close call for those in Jet. And so, Jet, you're in the tornado warning. Nash, you are not. But just because Nash, you're not, I would be prepared. The storm might take a bit of a turn and come up in your direction. Let me go back out to Jason here. Jason, is the highway, can you drive on the road, or are the power lines laying across the road and you can't go any farther north? Okay, we'll come back to him. No. Okay. Hey, Jason, just want to know, are there power lines that are laying in the middle of the road and you can't go any farther, or are you able to drive?
I am able to drive. The power line poles are sticking in the road, so we're having to maneuver around them. But we just went through about a half-mile wide section where every power line pole was, obliterated. Cast in half, laying in the ground. And luckily, the power line poles here, they're running north and south, so they're not crossing the road. But sorry, I just got to look at this thing on the back side. The rotation on this thing is just incredible. You can kind of see it whenever the lightning flashes. This thing is rain wrapped, so it's very difficult to see. But if you get just the right amount of flash, you can see the outline of this thing. And Damon, it is big.
Oh, I absolutely believe it. Based off of the pictures that you've been providing us, based off of the debris that we have seen inside of this. And what I'm doing right now is I'm just trying to pull up. There are roads into Nash right now. We'll see. The roads north of Nash are showing right now closed. But what I'm trying to see here are if there are any homes here. In this part, I know that I do see a couple. Yeah, there are a couple homes here that are going to be pretty close to where this is. Yeah, there aren't a lot, but there aren't a lot of homes. But I do see at least a couple structures. Let's hope that this debris that we are picking up right now inside the storm is power lines, and let's hope that it's vegetation and not homes. The storm, though, Jet, you have to be in your tornado shelter, innermost room of your house right now. This is a storm right here. There are some powerful winds. This thing is bending up to the northeast now. And so at this current track, it is going to be very close to jet. So again, tornado warning remains in effect. This is a PDS. Tornado warning. PDS stands for particularly dangerous situation. This is a confirmed large, violent tornado that is coming in right now with this cell that is moving up to the northeast. If you're in Enid, you're okay. But for those that are going to be south of the Great Salt Plains Lake, this is a nasty storm that is just coming in right now. And by the way, just a heads up for those for search and rescue, for emergency operations that are going on up here right now, there are more storms behind it. These are not severe, but this is just going to mess things up here with this storm as it's moving up to the northeast here. This is the only tornado warning that we have right now in the state, but there are other tornado warnings that we do have to watch for that are going to be out in the Texas Panhandle. Let me show you all the big picture right now. These are still about a county deep in the Texas, so we're still about 2 hours away from these coming into Elk City, maybe about an hour away or so. Coming into Oklahoma, so we'll get to those in just a bit here. But for our friends that are up near Jet, Nash, this is just a bad situation, and I'm still seeing that debris that is inside of it. And I know this is hard to see because there's colors all over the place. I'm looking at that dot right there. That dot, that's debris right there, moving up to the northeast towards Jet. So very, very concerned about this storm still doing damage, and it's been doing this for a while now. So this has been on the ground for a while. Jason's is right in it. You've heard his messaging. Power lines are down. So that's definitely some debris. Goes until 10:15. So just watching that. And again, I know this is the debris detector can hurt the eyes a little bit, but it's technology that we use. So as of right now, okay, Jet, let me look at this real quick here. Let me get the latest rotation detector on this. Okay, right now we're about 2 miles south of Jet. So here's Jet, 2 miles. That's where the tornado is going to be located. Oh man, we want these storms to stay out of town. Trust me. And the way that these towns are set up, you go even just a few yards outside of town and you're back over some farmland. But let's just hope that we can keep these all out of town. Now I get it. This is someone's land, and so this belongs to somebody. Let me do a more detailed track on how this storm is moving right now. And so let me see here. I just got to look at it's going to be just south of Jet. So let me track it up like this now. Moving at about 25 miles per hour. This is Wakita at 10:30. Wakita, you're not in a tornado warning, although I would be prepared for one to be issued in a little bit, given the way that this storm has behaved here. But the storm is still going here, and we are looking right into this. We're looking right into the storm here. So as of right now, tornado warning, confirmed tornado until 10:15. Right now it's only 10:40. So we still have another 35 minutes on this storm here, but this storm, let's hope it has already peaked. Now, given the way that the low-level winds are going right now, I feel like at least this storm is going to be able to rotate all the way up into Kansas, which, by the way, I mean, we're not that far away from the Kansas line here. Here we are. If you're in Ponca City, the storm is staying west and north of you. If you're in Enid, the storm is staying west and north of you. Behind it, we're going to have a bunch of storms that are going to be popping up, so that's going to impact the emergency operations with this as it's going northeast here. But just know that this may not be the only tornado warning that we get in here for this evening, because we're still watching storms that are still in the Texas Panhandle, about a county deep, well west of Sayre. Nick and Michael, Shane, Amanda, they're on those, and so we'll get to those in just a bit. But we got to talk about this storm. I mean, this is a PDS tornado warning. It goes until 10:15. Confirmed large damaging tornado. We know that it has done damage. Jason has already reported on it with the power lines down. Our anchors, our news team, they're making all the necessary phone calls they need. They're calling their sources up in this part of the state here to get an update, but this is very fresh. This is very fresh here. So stay tuned, because this data and this information coming in may be changing over the next few minutes here. But just know that this storm coming into Jet, very close to Jet right now, continues to be the worst storm out there right now. And this is a prime example of what happens out here in Oklahoma when the sun sets and the low-level winds begin to increase. Remember, during the daylight hours, the surface winds were there, but man, the low-level winds really started to crank. And now here we are just seeing the threat that these storms have brought in early March. Here we are. So no doubt about it. I mean, we had 5 tornadoes back in January. We didn't have any in February. But we'll probably be adding, quite a few to this to that number here. Definitely at least one. We'll see how this one goes down. This thing has just been hopping along the ground as it's going up. Jet, it's still too close. I mean, we're, very close to town of Jet. And also at this current track, would have to watch out for Nash and eventually towards Wakita. Wakita is going to be up on the north side of your television screen here. There's Medford. There's Renfro. Pond Creek, you're okay from this. Let's see here. I just got to update a large severe. Okay, so a large severe thunderstorm warning is now coming for ping pong ball size hail. Inside of this large severe thunderstorm warning, it's going to populate on your map here in just a second. There's going to be a tornado warning that's inside of it here. So just a heads up, the way that this is going to be handled is that we're going to put a big severe thunderstorm warning here. That does include Wakita. Does not mean that the tornado threat is over. That just means that we're going to put a tornado warning, a smaller one, inside of this severe thunderstorm warning. So anyways, there's your tornado. There's Jet. Jet, wow, it is awfully close. It's about to cross a highway again here, but Jet, this may have just barely missed town by a mile, 2 miles, which is way too close for comfort. Just don't like that at all. So anyways, okay, tracking that storm up towards Wakita. Right now, tornado warning goes until 10:15, but we're getting pretty close to the edge of this. So we're not going to wait until 10:15 for a new tornado warning. We're probably going to get a new one issued here any minute now. Let me show you the big picture, kind of show you all what is happening right now. And also tornado warning is being extended now into Grant County. So we are going to get that update here momentarily. Let me show you the big picture, what's happening. Tornado warning there south of Shamrock, Texas. That is going to be an issue for those of us that are going to be out by Elk City and Sayre when that crosses in. Hopefully it's not tornado warned, but our crews are on it. Shane, Amanda, Nick, Storm Command, Jason is on our tornado warning up to the north. And so if you're just now tuning in this evening, right now it is 9:43, but you are watching KOCO 5 News at 10 o'clock. And the big story, the big weather story right now has been this violent tornado, large tornado that has been on the ground. It has done damage. It started down by Canton Lake, Lake Canton. It went west of Fairview, west of Helena, now it's southeast of Jet. This tornado has stayed out of these towns that we have here, but just barely. But we know that it has been doing damage this evening. So anyways, I want to get back out to this tornado warning here in just a second. I want to go out to Michael real quick here. Michael, you're right in this tornado warning down by Shamrock. How's the radar data look, and do you anticipate that these tornado warnings would be extended into western Oklahoma, Michael?
Yeah, I do think so, and we're getting some very large hail right now too, at least golf ball size hail here in the core of this storm. The rotation has kind of come and gone in terms of how intense it's been, based on what the radar's telling us, but I will tell you this storm has a lot of hail. Near Ludi is the small town. It's going to be between Shamrock and Wellington. And Damon, this is going to come up toward Eric and Sayre. So we'll have to track this all the way up into Beckham County. We'll have to kind of leave the storm for a little bit, just like for the area of interest. But I will tell you, I don't know if you can hear it in my microphone. I've got a really good noise canceling microphone, but we are just getting pummeled with large hail right now.
Yeah, it certainly looks like that. And brand new tornado warning was just extended here up to the border. Again, up to the border here. So Shamrock. So I would anticipate that we may be getting a new tornado warning issued. If the next one may be about 30 minutes out or so, but just a heads up for those in Sayre and in Elk City. Again, Sayre and Elk City. There's Michael, there's Nick, there's Shane. Okay, let me go back up to Jason on this. Let's see here. Large tornado still continues up for Jet and Nash. and we're still picking up debris inside of this. I mean, and we are so close to the radar site here. So just, oh yeah, look at that. That just crossed the highway again. Just a heads up, Jason, some of the data that we have coming in, we are picking up debris about 3,000 feet up in the air with this storm. Jason, how are things right now in Jet, and what are you seeing right now from where you are?
Well, it doesn't surprise me, David. This has been a storm that has cycled and recycled over and over again, just building strength as time progressed. We're just now coming into Jet, so we are right here at the rotation, and in the lightning, you can see the rain band just spinning. So I'm confident this thing is still doing some damage. I'm really hoping and praying that it is just vegetation, but this is a very dangerous situation indeed, because it is nighttime. It's difficult to see. I know with power lines being down, sometimes that can affect warning systems. It's very imperative that people get into their safe places. If you're ahead of the storm, you've got to be in your safe spot. I mean, you just have to. This thing has done a lot of damage, and we just want you to be safe. So right now, we haven't seen any new power flashes, thankfully, but that does not necessarily mean that it's not still on the ground. So we're going to keep tracking it and bring you updates as they come along, David.
Okay, and a brand new tornado warning was just issued for this. And so right now we are in between Jet and Nash. Between Jet and Nash. And so Wakita, the tornado warning comes right up to town, but the storm is starting to go more to the east and northeast. And so when it does that, it is strengthening. This is a strengthening storm that is going up. And so north of Jet, or east of Jet, the tornado is now east of you. So in your shelter, you can now come out. But Jet, Nash, it is close. Wakita, it is close. And even as I show you all the big picture right now of the circulation and where we are, again, the tornado is going to be right here, right on the county line. Moving up to northeast Medford, Wakita. It's now taken that turn. At one point, it was going up to the northeast. Now it's taken more of an easterly jog. And so just a heads up, north of Nash, northwest of Pond Creek, this is the zone to watch. Right now moving at 35 miles per hour. So that's moving at a pretty decent speed, but just a heads up, Medford, I know you're not in the tornado warning yet, but this is a storm that still continues to be very significant. Let me give you the latest information on this. This is a tornado warning, also golf ball size hail, and the track, it has slowed down just a little bit, but this is going down as considerable damage with this storm here. I mean, this has done quite a bit of damage. As a matter of fact, our sources, our news team, they are working the phone lines. And so Evan, Jess, let me just go to y'all real quick. I know y'all have made a lot of phone calls. Just for what do you have right now, Abby?
So I just spoke to the Major County Sheriff, and they do have power lines and power poles down, power lines across the street. Of course, that's very dangerous. Deputies are out patrolling. Minor damage. He did not have any reports of any injuries at that time, but they just got out starting to look there in Major County.
And Damon, just really quick, the power is going off and on all over the county right now. So it was out in Fairview, came back, power went out in Chester, it has now come back. So that's an issue that's going on.
And Jess, we did confirm at least a 2-car crash in Roger Mills County. I just got off with the EM there. Some traffic and some car issues have been problems.
A car on its side in Roger Mills County. We're trying to confirm exactly what caused that, though. Damon, also looking at power outages map right now in Major County, just over 500 customers without power. We're going to continue to work the phones and bring you any more damage reports as we get them. Damon?
Okay, and this blue ball right here, that's debris. There is debris in that storm right there. And look how close we are to the radar. I mean, we are just 2 or 3 miles away from the radar, but that right there, that's debris. And so at this current track, moving up to the northeast, Jet, the storm is now east of you. Nash, storm is just northwest of you, but we have debris getting lofted up into the storm. Just checked, about 3,000 feet up in the air. So it takes a significant tornado to be able to just throw debris that high up in the air. But this right here, that is the tornado. This is a bad, bad storm that has started when it was down by Canton, and since then has at least been able to stay out of these communities here. But this is all this land belongs to someone, and so we are very concerned for all of you that are in the path of this. Let me put in an updated storm track now up to the northeast at 30 miles per hour. This will take it outside of the tornado warning, but just a heads up, Medford, this is headed into town right now. It's 9:51, 10:33 is when that storm comes in. Let me go back out to Jason. Let me go back out to Jason with this here. Jason, this is a storm that just is continuing to strengthen. How's it look from where you are?
Well, unfortunately, Damon, we are at a stopping point. We have power line poles that are in the road, and we actually have power lines that are on a car directly in front of us. Let me turn the camera around so you can see. These power lines are actually draped over the vehicle, and so we are going to unfortunately have to hang back. But this is definitely a dangerous situation. This is right where that tornado came through. We've got this power line pole that is here that is sticking out into the right hand lane, but it looks like we have two vehicles actually that these power lines are draped over. So. Incredibly dangerous situation. I hope that everyone is okay. I don't know if these wires are live or not, but regardless, we're gonna kind of stand back and I'm gonna definitely check and make sure they're okay. But we're gonna have to keep our distance just so we can keep our safety top of mind. But these power line poles are completely snapped in half. Let me scan over here, and I can show you the actual pole, maybe.
And by the way, Jason, stay safe here. Okay, yes, we see the pole right here. How many of these poles, by the way, are down right now, Jason?
It looks like 1, 2, 3, potentially. But you can see, I mean, it literally just snapped. It snapped right off. And now we're getting some very heavy rainfall. But yeah, we're going to keep our distance and we're going to remain safe, at all costs. But there are power line poles that are down in the roads that are blocking the road here. We are just to the west of Nash on Highway 64, and I would say we're probably about 4 miles to the west. So yeah. Definitely a dangerous situation. If you're in the area, avoid it. This storm continues to intensify. I can see it on radar. I can see the debris ball, especially being so close to the radar. That's just incredible. But this thing is more than likely still on the ground. So heed the warnings, get to a safe spot, let this storm pass, and hopefully we can get out of this unscathed. David, back to you.
Yeah, and by the way, Jason, again, and this is for all of our chasers and anyone that chases. Your safety is number one, and so Jason is making the right call here. He's hanging back. Obviously, he can't go any farther, and so these lines are over the road. This is tornado damage that has come in here, and the rain is just coming down as well. If you're ever out and you see power lines that are down, treat them like they're live, okay? And so emergency crews are going to come out and they'll do what they need to do. But Jason is doing the right thing. Him and his partner, Tommy, they're not going to go any farther here. Not with these power lines that are down. This is clearly tornado damage. And unfortunately, this has turned into a night of just damage that has been running across from basically northwest of Nash down to Canton. And we're also watching, by the way, another tornado warning that is still in the Texas Panhandle. Let me go ahead and change your radar here. But we're in the Texas Panhandle, and so we may be getting more tornado warnings in the state. So far, we've really just been working one supercell this evening. It's been this one, but now we're seeing these storms out lining up, and so there's Nick and Sayre, Michael out in Shamrock, and then there's quite a bit of space in between. Things are quiet in Sealing, Fairview, Canton. These storms right here are probably going to take a similar path that you see right here that would run from Sayre, Elk City, all the way up to Helena and into Medford. Now, how long the tornado risk lasts, remains to be seen. We will be watching it, but just a heads up, we have tornado warnings there out to the west that are lining up into up along the Texas-Oklahoma line here. So just a heads up, what we're finding right now. We're so close to the radar right now. Storm impact. Okay, so it looks like a new tornado warning was just drawn out. So let me see what's going on here. So we technically, this is just one tornado warning. It's just that it's starting to take probably a little bit more of a northeasterly jog here. And so Waukeeta, you are now in the tornado warning. Again, Waukeeta, you are now in the tornado warning until 10:45. Right now it is 9:56. You're watching KOCO 5 News at 10 o'clock. Tornado moving up to northeast at 30 miles per hour. So with this new tornado warning and a little bit of a change in the track here, which it's taking what you might hear us say a right turn, you're also going to hear a left turn. A left turn would mean that it's starting to move more north than it is east. And so that's why we just had an extension of the tornado warning here. But let me put an updated track here. Still moving up to the north at about 35 miles per hour. That's going to change the arrival here, but we're in Waukeeta now at 10:19. So that's about 25 minutes. Sirens are going off. Waukeeta, this is why the storm is now moved up to the north. And then we start going into Kansas here. So we're not that far off from this storm going into Kansas. We're also not that far away from a new tornado warning coming out of Texas and coming into Oklahoma. So we're still working tornado warnings here. Let me show you all the big picture. If you're getting ready to go to bed, what do you need to know? As you go to bed tonight? First off, Oklahoma City, things are pretty quiet here, and things are probably going to stay fairly quiet for the rest of the evening. If you're in Enid, we're still watching these storms. Things are quiet for now. Enid, that storm is just north of you, but we're going to have to watch these storms. Now, as of right now, our tornado watch goes until midnight. We'll see if it's extended or not. Hopefully the atmosphere can get a little messy and lower the threat altogether, but we're still 2 hours out. The tornado watch expires at midnight. So watching this storm that's about to cross into Kansas, watching this storm that is tornado warned about to come into western Oklahoma. Let me go out to Michael, and then we'll go back up to Jason here. But Michael, how's the storm look right now that's coming into Oklahoma?
Well, I still am concerned about it because I think it still does have some rotation. Damon, it does have a tornado warning with it. We are moving back up toward I-40 to kind of get ahead of it, and the reason why that is because of the road network. But on the track that it's on, we'll cross back in front of it and be covering it. I know Nick Smith is going to be in the Sayre area. We'll be watching it as it comes in toward Eric. So basically, we're going north of the storm right now, so I don't have eyes on the base to tell you whether it has a wall cloud or anything like that visually. But what I can tell you is the National Weather Service continues to put a tornado warning on it. That's not a good sign for Beckham County. So we are going to be moving into that area here. We're almost to Shamrock. Once we get to I-40, we'll be going east, and we'll be back in a position to be able to have some eyes on it again. But I think the thing we have to say is, we hate these nighttime storms, but we just can't have anybody just going to bed and thinking, oh, nothing's going to happen. This is not the night to do that. If you live across western or northern Oklahoma in front of these storms. I'm not saying necessarily everybody, but we've got to really pay attention close to these storms tonight, folks, because we have a substantial tornado risk that continues into the overnight hours. Yeah, you're exactly right, and I just put a storm track here on where that tornado would be in Texas, just to cross it into Oklahoma, but it's Eric at 10:30, Delhi 10:45, Sayre at 10:53. That is the storm right there. By the way, severe thunderstorm warning was just drawn into Texas, or out of Texas into Oklahoma because of that storm. Okay, let's go back up to the north. Let's get an update here on this tornado warning that we have right here. That is going to be southwest of Waukeeta. And let's see here, looking at the velocity in this, we're real close to this. I mean, this storm came so close to hitting the radar. There's the tornado, there's a radar. I mean, 100 meters away, we are so close to it, but that's your tornado right here. And so at this current track, Waukeeta,
This storm is making a run up towards you. Now, if you're watching in Pond Creek, this would be staying north of you. Jefferson, Medford, at this current track, it would stay west and north of you. But Waukeeta, that's going to be an issue that we have to watch right now for you all there in Waukeeta. Again, tornado warning remains in effect for this storm until 10:45. This is the same storm that dropped a tornado down by Canton at about 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock. And here we are now. It is 10 o'clock, and this storm is still doing quite a bit of damage. Hopefully it's just vegetation, trees. We know that there have been some power lines that have been knocked down. Let's hope that we haven't had any structures, but this storm is still so fresh right now that this is just the emergency personnel, they're still going out. They're still doing all their search and rescue and trying to see what's going on here. But anyways, that's the tornado right there, very close to the community of Nescatunga. If you live by the Great Salt Plains Lake, I mean, the tornado was about this close to coming into town here, but it is moving up to the northeast. And so let me get the latest here. It looks like so this did go down as a PDS tornado warning. Okay, now you see a new tornado warning was just drawn out. So just a little bit of language inside of all this. So this was originally a PDS tornado warning. PDS stands for particularly dangerous situation. That's when we have a confirmed large tornado on the ground and we're picking up debris and we can see it. It's no longer doing that. This has now gone down to what we just consider a base tornado warning. That's a step down as far as like tornado warnings. It's still a tornado warning. Still got to take it seriously. But the most recent tornado warning is now going to be this northern one right here. So basically, Nash down towards Pond Creek. Looks like the storm is now going to stay just north of you, but just barely. Now I know you are getting quite a bit of heavy rain. The hail sizes in this are still fairly large as well. Up to the size of golf balls. And then also there's a storm that's going to be west of Helena. Helena, I know, got a little dicey there a little while ago with that storm that was coming into town. Stayed just west of town. But the storm coming into town right now is nearly in the same path, in the same area that the tornado warning just went through, but that's going to be dropping some hail. So for search and rescue that's going on right now, that's not good right now to see. It's just to have that storm that's right on top of where they're trying to probably assess damage, see how bad things are right now, and you have that storm right there on top. So that's going to kind of hit the pause on any search and rescue for a little bit. It's not going to stay in town for that long, but it certainly is. It is on top of town, and that's not good at all. If you're watching in Freedom, Woodward, Winoka, Alva, these storms are to your east. And so as of right now, the big picture still shows that we have these tornado warnings that are going to be up in Grant County. And let's see, I believe there's technically 3 of them in here. The northern one, it looks like goes until 10:45. But let me just double check here. Trying to clean up the language here. This is definitely not nearly as well pronounced as what we saw earlier. Let's see how it's moving. It's kind of getting tucked back in just on the east side of the Great Salt Plains Lake. And so it's gotten pulled back in a little bit here. I know there's a lot of flashing boxes, a lot of polygons right now, but this is getting pulled back in a little bit here. So this may just slow down a bit. Just a heads up again for those that are going to be north of Jet, north of Nash, west of Medford, and right by Waukeeta. So most likely the way that this storm is going to track now is it's probably going to begin to track a bit up to the northeast like this. It's still going to come pretty close to Waukeeta, but this is definitely a bit of a downward trend with the storm, which is good. Now it's still significant, but at least let's hope it already peaked. Let's hope it has already peaked and it's now moving up into Kansas. I know Jason is still sitting here. Let me go out to Jason. Jason, I know that you had to kind of wrap things up here with the chase. But what's the situation like right now where you are?
Well, we've got Highway Patrol. They're ahead of us about 3/4 of a mile, and they are shutting down the road. Those power line poles, as you saw in my earlier shot, they're big power line poles, and they are draped across the road. I mean, snapped in half, and that takes a lot of that takes some pretty powerful winds to do that. So it's, the tornado came through here and definitely caused some damage. But so we're sitting here at the moment. We've got this other storm that is just to our southwest that, like you said, is almost taking the exact same track. So we're going to sit here and wait for that storm to approach so that we can get eyes on that storm. And hopefully these things will start to die down a little bit. But as of right now, we're going to stay on them.
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully they can die down. And I'm right there with you. And so right now it's 10:06. We're still watching these storms. This tornado warning still remains. And then we're watching this one that's still in the Texas Panhandle. But our crews are in position for this to come into western Oklahoma. Abby, Evan, I know there's a lot of data coming in right now. What do y'all have from the news desk?
Damon, urgent here. We have a possible missing person west of Fairview. This is going to be Highway 60 and 243 where that street is shut down. They have power lines across the road there. The sheriff tells me that there was an adult woman believed to be traveling in that area and she lost contact with whoever it was she's talking to. So a missing person at this time is what they are calling it. They're trying to find her and her vehicle there west of Fairview in the Major County area, that coming from the sheriff.
And Damon, I'll just add right now, I was just talking to the emergency manager in Alfalfa County, said that he was actually tracking this tornado. He was tracking it visually, said he lost sight of it due to the heavy rain, but he believed he tracked it towards North 132, that it lifted when it was west of the town of Hawley there in Grant County. So that's his report right now, Damon. So back to you right now with what you're seeing currently, but again, following some frightening developments with that missing person report.
He did want me to say that area is shut down, Highway 60 and 243, but the biggest headline, and you hate to report it, is that someone is unaccounted for because of these storms.
And that is an area that this storm tracked right over. And Jason has been on this. And so his reports from time to time, he was talking about a large tornado, wedge tornado, lots of debris, power lines are down, and so that all lines up here. The storm is starting to get pulled up to the north here. So Wakita, the rain's coming down. There's going to be some golf ball size hail embedded all inside of this. The tornado is tucked back here, just in the western side of the county here. And so for those that are in Medford at this current track, this is going more up to the northeast. But with the search and rescue that Abigail was just talking about, there's a thunderstorm that just went right over there with about golf ball size hail. So that's not making the situation any better at all. We're praying for that situation right there. But here we are right now, west of Wakita. Tornado warning remains. Heavy rains coming down, hail embedded in it, and this storm is continuing to lift up to the north. This black line that you see here, this is Kansas. So we're not that far away from this coming into Kansas. Enid, this is north of you. Ponca City, this is all west of you, and this is all moving up to the north. So K County, this should stay out of town here. We may get a couple little showers that pop up, but this has been just an absolutely horrible supercell that first developed Custer, Dewey County, and then ran up to the north. And it's still coming in up towards Wakita. Right now, let me get the latest on the speed of this storm here. Let me see what it's doing. Let's see here. Moving at only 15 miles per hour. Okay, that is a sharp decrease, by the way. And the velocity inside of the storm doesn't look nearly as well pronounced as what we saw earlier. And I'll show you what I mean out of that, excuse me, just to give you an idea. So here it is on the bottom of your screen. This is when it was west of Helena, and I'm pretty certain this is very close to that situation that Abigail was just referring to when it crossed over the highway there. But you can see how tight that red and that green are together. And then now it's going up just north of Nash, and now we're not seeing that velocity couplet nearly as well pronounced. So let's hope that this is a step in the right direction and that this storm it's already peaked in intensity. We would love for that to happen here, but time will tell. The bigger picture, again, looks like this. Right now, 10-10, Oklahoma City, we're good. Stillwater, you're okay. Ardmore, Sulphur, Wynnewood, Pauls Valley, you're okay as well. Western Oklahoma, we're watching this thunderstorm complex here that's running out of the Texas Panhandle, coming into western Oklahoma. We have Shane, Amanda, there's Nick, there's Storm Command. They're all lined up watching this storm coming in. And then we have this storm up in northern Oklahoma that Jason's been on. Again, Jason earlier had this pull off on the chase because power lines are down. Power lines are snapped, laying across the road, and there are cars that are stuck right now with power lines laying on top of them. So I want to give you all an update on that one right there. Let me go out to Storm Command here. Michael, we see on I-40 with this tornado warning that's coming up pretty close to the county here. Circulation, I see it a little bit there southwest of Eric. What stands out to you right now from Storm Command there, Michael?
Yeah, Damon, this storm really, it doesn't look nearly as organized as the storm that's been dropping the massive tornadoes there across northern Oklahoma. But I am concerned because it's probably the more dominant supercell that we've seen out here as it's coming out from the Texas Panhandle now into Oklahoma. And even though it's not attached to the warm front, I think that was the key, Damon, that caused that other storm to do something that no other storm has done out here tonight, and it was latched on to that warm front. We're not seeing that down here, but there is like 70s temperatures that have been out today, and so a lot of that moisture is feeding into this storm, and there's really nothing inhibiting it. It's on the south end. Sometimes you may hear people call that tail end Charlie. So it's the southernmost storm, and that means it gets really clean inflow into it. It hasn't gotten to the point to where, it looks like it's producing, strong tornadoes or anything like that. But I will say it's pretty far from a radar site right now, and it's going to be moving into Beckham County. So we're going to get in a position to watch that south end of it very closely. But it does have a hail core with it, so I would expect at the very minimum a hail core to cross I-40 somewhere near Eric.
Yeah, definitely watching that. And again, let's hope that this storm can be okay when it comes in. It took a while. If you recall watching this at 5 and 6 o'clock, we were really looking at the storms beginning to go up, but they just remained kind of put there for a bit. And then as soon as the sun set, the low-level winds just started to increase, and they really started to feed into these storms. This storm took off. This storm took off as well in Texas, and so we're still watching them both. And so right now, 2 tornado warnings, technically are 2 storms producing tornado warnings right now on your screen. As we go up to northern Oklahoma here, and just south of Grant, or just southwest of Wichita and Grant County, watching that storm. And by the way, tornado warning is now coming out for Beckham County. So we do have a new tornado warning that is now being drawn out, coming into Beckham County. It is going to be for this storm that's coming out of the Texas Panhandle. So just got that message here just moments ago from the National Weather Service. So now we're about to have 2 storms in Oklahoma producing tornado warnings. One up in northern Oklahoma, that's about to cross into Kansas here. It's slowly moving up in that direction though. And right now we're just southwest of Wichita. And then this storm is about to be tornado warned as well. And so Nick is in Sayre, Amanda, Shane, Elk City, Michael, and Shamrock, and we're going to be watching this storm closely here. So that tornado warning being typed up, being drawn out as we speak, and so it's going to, as soon as it comes out, you're going to see that red flashing box here be extended into western Oklahoma. So in between that, there's a lot of space, ceiling, things are quiet for you. A little bit of a tiny shower there by Visai, and then if you're in Enid right now, we're going to watch this one. The storm is a little bit farther south right now, and so at this current track, going to Thomas, Watonga, Hennessy, Wacomas, Enid, we'll see. I mean, this is so far away, by the way, from Enid, and the speed of these storms tonight has been very slow that it would take hours to come into town here, if it even does here. So this is just a message for those in Enid, because I know you're looking to the west, and if you look at these polygons and the way that they're drawn out, they are pointing towards town. So we shall see. Let me check in with Jason here. Jason, I know you're at a standstill right now. It looks like at least the velocity with your storm there isn't nearly as pronounced as what we had obviously a bit ago, but what's the scene like? What's the situation like where you are right now? Kind of walk us through what you're going through.
So we are still sitting here. We had to back up a little bit so the emergency crews could get in, but We are just to the east of Jet by about 5 miles, sitting on Highway 64, and we've got multiple power line poles that are draped across. Actually, they're laying in the road. They're laying on the highway. They were snapped, clean off the base of the pole. We've got power lines that are draped over 2 different vehicles. We're not quite sure if those lines are hot or not, but we decided to kind of take a step back. We did see movement in the vehicle, so that we know that everybody's okay, thankfully. But there's definitely a lot of damage out here in regards to electric power line poles and power lines, and we've seen that over the last 15-mile stretch coming from Helena. There's just been pockets of power line poles that are down. So this was definitely a large tornado. It's definitely caused some damage, but to my knowledge, I have not heard of any structures that have been hit, thankfully. So hopefully that remains the case. We're waiting on this other storm that's coming from the southwest to basically come over the exact same track. So we're going to stay right here. We're going to keep an eye on it and bring you any updates.
Yeah, and definitely with that storm, and when the sun comes up and come daybreak, there's going to be a lot of damage that is going to be easy to see with this storm here. It probably snapped a lot of power lines. Obviously, we've been following, the news up here pretty closely here, and we'll go to the anchors here in just a little bit for an update. But our new tornado warning just came out with this storm here. So let me get the latest on this cell that is going to be in Eric. Does not include Sayre, by the way, but it does include, again, those that are going to be in Eric. Let me see the circulation up inside of this. And so it's right on the line here, the Oklahoma-Texas state line here. It's not a very large tornado warning. It expires at about 10:45. So let's hope that this storm can fall apart here, but this has just been a night here. Again, tornado watch remains in effect until midnight. There's Michael. There is Nick. Let me go out to Michael right now. Michael, the tornado warning just crossed into Oklahoma, and then I'm going to talk to Nick here right after Michael here. But Michael, what's the situation like from Storm Command and what you're seeing?
Yeah, we're coming down I-40 right now. You can still see the rain from the storm. Apparently, this storm does have a lowering. Heard a little bit of talk here amongst emergency management out here in Beckham County. But that was from somebody who was like, I think they were about 8 to 10 miles south of Eric along Highway 30. So this storm's going to be lifting northeast. Damon, I think based on the movement, it's going to come right over Sayre eventually. It's going to be really close to Eric. We'll see if it, I'm not sure if it's going to make exactly to Sayre right now based on its track, because it's moving a little bit more to the northeast. So it may pass north and west of Sayre, but it's going to be close. So if I'm living in Eric, Mayfield, Sayre, all these areas out here, and even Elk City, I think, you're going to have to monitor this storm very closely. Obviously, if you're in Eric, you go ahead and go to your shelter, your safe room, whatever you have. Now's the time to go ahead and start planning on, doing that and taking action, because the tornado warning has been issued for you. We're going to be tracking it very closely. We're just north and east of the hail core, so we'll kind of stop here very shortly and be able to get you some eyes on it, hopefully, and we'll see if we can be able to see something visually. It's just really tough at night, as you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And so putting a track on this right now, it's Eric at 10:34, Sayre 10:58, Berlin at 11:09, Hawker, Merritt around 11:13. Let's put the radar back up here. And again, the track that this moves to the northeast here. So once again, here's I-40, this tornado warning, and I tracked it outside of the tornado warning, but just a heads up for those that are going to be anywhere in western Oklahoma watching the storm closely. Hey, there has been an uptick, by the way, on the northern storm, especially the velocity that's inside of it. Let me show you what's happening here. This could be out for Grant County, but our circulation just in the last couple of scans here, it started to pick back up. And so it is going to be this area right here. Let me show you how it's moving. Let's see here. Let me go back. You can just see in the last scan, bam, just like that. Okay, so we are going to be quite a ways away here from Medford but this circulation has really started to tighten back up again. Wakita, this is going to stay to your south, by the way. So we're trimming the fat off of our tornado warning, but here's your tornado right there. That circulation couple is beginning to pick back up. There's Medford. At this current track, it's moving up to the northeast here, so it's going to be close to Medford. Bedford, I know you're not in a tornado warning right now, but just what I'm seeing in the radar in the last couple scans, it is starting to tighten back up again. So Wakita, this is south of you now. You're getting a ton of rain here in Wakita. Let me see if I'm picking up any debris yet. Not seeing it yet inside of the storm, but the bigger picture, let me show you what's happening here, is that the storm is it is moving up to the northeast. It may actually end up splitting between Medford and Wakita, but it's going to be close here. So just a heads up. I know you see a couple flashing red boxes here, but this is what we're watching right here. Jason is in between Jet and Nash. Again, power lines are down. There are lots of roads that are now closed up in this part of the state because of this tornado that basically went from Canton to Helena, Jet, just outside of town. And now it's reforming again, getting stronger and making its way across Grant County. So that is the tornado warning. We have 2 of them right now in the state. We're watching that. Let me show you the big picture and can give you an idea as to where these storms are right now. But let's see here. We have the one here in northern Oklahoma by Pond Creek in Medford, Wakita. And then we have this one crossing out of Texas, now coming into western Oklahoma. Elk City, we have Shane, we have Amanda, there's Nick and Sayer, their storm command. Let me go out to Nick. Nick, now watching this tornado warning, the cell that is coming into western Oklahoma right now. Nick, I know it's dark out there, but how's it look from what you're seeing right now?
Yeah, so let me first off, let me say I'm almost to Eric right now. We're going to get off on this exit up here, but we're just coming into the east side of Eric, and Damon, what I think is pretty well. There's a lot of lightning. Let's first start with that. I mean, we can see striations in the clouds. I mean, you can see the structure of it, which is something that we haven't seen yet.
Okay, again, Nick out in western Oklahoma. He is on this storm right here. By the way, we are watching this storm now ramp back up. That is going to be up near Pond Creek and Wakita. So just a heads up, this storm is getting an upgrade again. Now it's tornado warning. When we say upgrade, we're talking about just the damage potential that could be in it. Oh man, this thing is starting to get back going. Yikes, hate to see this, but this thing is ramping back up. And I believe I am seeing a little bit of a debris signature up inside of it right now. Yep. Oh man, there's debris in this storm. And so it's that blue dot, that little blue dot right there. And so that indicates debris that is inside this storm here. So anyways, watching this cell now going up to the northeast. Michael, okay. Heads up, we'll come back to this storm in just a moment. Let me just put a quick track on this, where it's going, and that way I think it's going to go, it looks like it's going to go in between Wakita and Medford, but it is going up to the north at about 35 miles per hour. So it looks like it might pass right in between Wakita and Medford, but that's not good. Okay, let me go out to Michael. Michael, we're watching this tornado warning back up south of Wakita. That storm is strengthening. How's your storm look? That is going to be west of Sayre right now. Mike?
Yeah, so we are starting to see some of that structure like Nick was talking about. We're just here on the west sides of Eric, actually, and looking back into, I mean, look at the lightning, Damon. I mean, just tremendous, and we have a large lowering here. One thing I was going to mention, Damon, that was a second tornado that formed up there with that storm that's up in Grant County. The old tornado actually occluded and weakened, and a brand new hook formed. So that storm is now producing, families of tornadoes. So crazy there. And now we're starting to again see this structure. Let's stop here, Kyle, so we can see this. We're going to be looking at this. Damon, this is starting to look a little more pronounced, like on the southern end of this. Do hear the outdoor warning sirens. They are sounding here in the town of Eric. So let's go ahead and stop, Kyle. So we're going to stop right here and just take a look at what we're seeing now. Look at the structure. So pretty significant lowered area over a large area. This storm has been a little bit elongated at times, but really concerned about this area that right in there that's going to be coming up directly toward us and Eric. So Eric, you need to be in your shelter right now.
Yeah, and looking at where the tornado, if there is one up inside of this, is right on the state line, by the way. It's going to be right on the state line, right along I-40. So we're watching that. Okay, the storm that's up in the north in Grant County, the storm is just it's back, as you heard Michael mention it. It's a storm that has produced a family of tornadoes, and I think that's a really good way, just a really easy way to explain just what's going on right now. But that couplet is really tightened up, and that debris is getting more pronounced. It's that blue dot. When that blue dot right there, when that lines up with your velocity, that's a sign that this storm has taken back off again. And the way that is moving is that, just a heads up, Waukeeta, this storm may split the town of Medford and Waukeeta, but it's kind of spinning around here. It may come pretty close to Waukeeta. No matter what, Waukeeta, you're in a tornado warning right now, so take that seriously. Stay inside, innermost room of your house, going into your tornado shelter, because this storm it is picking back up here. Yikes! I know this storm just won't quit at all. Just when you think it's about to wrap things up, looks like we get a new tornado that begins to develop. This looks like it's beginning to move a bit more up to the north. Let's see here. It is starting to spin back up to the north, which will bring it very close to Waukeeta. It's going to cross over the highway. Now, we're still a few miles away from Waukeeta. Here's the town right here. But the way that this is starting to get pulled back up to the north is that, oh man, this is just going to be really, really close. And so we're probably going to have another tornado warning coming out pretty soon. As of right now, it's almost 10:30 on this Thursday night. And so this storm right here has produced a number of tornadoes, and bad ones too, by the way. Quite a bit of damage. And it's getting pulled up to the north here. And so just a heads up for those in Waukeeta, this is going to be coming very close to town. It's definitely about to cross over the highway here. This would be Highway 11. And so south of Waukeeta, but just a heads up, let me see how this storm is currently tracking right now. And let's see. Doesn't look, let's see, current track right now. Yeah, it is. When you see these arrows, it is getting pulled up to the north, but it's going to come pretty close to Waukeeta here. I hate to say it, but it has just a bit of a unique move to it right now, where it was moving to the east, and now it's starting to move a bit more back up to the north. And the velocity couplet in there, it's there. The debris, it's that blue ball, it's there as well. This storm continues to just be, as you heard Michael mention, it's a storm that's produced just a number of tornadoes. Steve, what do you see?
You said it earlier. The winds are all back there. It's a tornado all the way to the city line.
Yeah, Steve was just saying, he's like, hey, we mentioned it earlier that the winds are just blowing in a direction that's going to favor this storm to keep producing tornadoes, probably even as it goes up into Kansas. So here we are once again working two storms. Let me come back down in here. Let me get an update. Nick, we see you there on the tornado warning that's going to be out in far western Oklahoma, out by Eric and west of Sayre. Nick, what's the situation like right now where you are?
Yeah, right now, Damon, we are sitting on the east side of Eric. We cannot see the lowering, but it's getting a little bit closer to us, so we're kind of at just with some trees around, we're at a little bit of a disadvantage on that, but we're letting it get a little closer to us, and we're going to try to take a look at it. I can, like Michael was saying, I do hear the outdoor warning sirens going off. I do see that there is some of the sheriffs and also police officers for this area that have kind of staged over here close to where we are. So they're just kind of getting in a place ready for this thing to come across if there is a tornado on the ground, or just when the storm does come across. We are noticing, Daryl, my driver, was just noticing that, it's pretty calm here right now, which is good, but at the same time, we're waiting for the inflow to, if this thing is kind of getting going, it'll definitely have some inflow coming into it here in a few minutes. So if you can check back with us here in a few minutes, we should have a pretty good shot of this thing as it comes closer. But man, it is like the meso part of this that we're just starting to see a little bit more of the structure, and we're seeing the stacked, it's like plates or pancakes. It's just, it's unbelievable how this thing is just rotating. So, I mean, I have to keep reminding myself that this is March. We're in March right now, and it's just really weird. But it's Oklahoma. This is what we do.
You're exactly right. Wow, look at that lighting. You're exactly right. And so this storm here, tracking it, goes up towards Sayre at 10:58, Elk City at 11:25. Okay, that's moving to the northeast at about 35 miles per hour. Brand new tornado warning was just issued. So right now we're working two storms, and they're not even close to each other. I mean, they are, one's in northern Oklahoma, one's in western Oklahoma, so we're bouncing back and forth. Brand new tornado warning, though. This is confirmed, goes until 11:15. This is going to be for Grant County, and we are back to just seeing that debris getting lofted back up. And look at that couplet right here. Right now, our radar is picking up debris 8,000 feet up in the air. That is incredible. So this tornado warning until 11:15 for Grant County. That's your tornado. Look at that couplet right there. That bright green, that bright red, and this storm is spinning up to the north. Now, there's a chance, I mean, it could come very close to Wichita. And so just a heads up, Wichita, in your shelter, innermost room right now. This is very close for Wichita. Medford, this new tornado warning does not include you. So it's just wet, but the motion of the storm, it's pulling up to the north, and it's kind of it's going to bounce around. That's what's going to happen here. It's going to kind of bounce around, but it's moving generally in a north direction, and so in between Wichita, again, Medford, you're not in this warning, but that is a well-pronounced couplet, and debris that is inside of the storm, we are seeing it. Look at that blue dot. It's that blue dot right there. That is debris that we are seeing. That is why this is a confirmed tornado warning, because of that blue dot right there. That is the radar that is able to look inside the storm, and it sees a bunch of different size objects. And so let's hope those objects are just, power poles and vegetation and not cars, farm equipment, structures. But that's what that is right there. This is a bad situation. Once again, tornado warning for Wichita. And going up in the northern Grant County. This goes until 11:15. Again, this goes until 11:15. Let me show you the path that this has been taken here. And so flipping over to velocity, and you can see how it's getting pulled a bit up to the northeast. And so that is it right there. At this current track, man, it may miss both towns, but the way that this storm has behaved, we're not going to sound the all clear just quite yet for anybody up here yet, but this looks like it's going to be moving up to the northeast at about 30 miles per hour. So right now it's 10:33. By 11:15, so in about 45 minutes, this should be going up into Kansas. Who are we going out to? Michael. Let's go out to Michael. Okay, going to go out to Michael here out in western Oklahoma. Michael, what do you have?
Damon, very large funnel, it appears. This is going to be right on the southwest side of Eric. I'm on the west side of Eric. This is straight in front of me. I'm trying to see if there's anything in contact. You can see it in the flashes, but look at that white. It's very ominous right here. I mean, it is coming right into Eric, like right in front of me. I have not seen any power flashes yet, but this is it's really tough at night. Can I just say that one more time? But this is very concerning to me. This is why we have the tornado warning on the storm.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so this is going to be the tornado warning out in western Oklahoma, by the way. This is going to be, let's see here, out west of Eric and Sayre. And so let's see, Michael, we're looking at your shot here. Michael, you have eyes on it. What do you see here? I don't see as much lightning.
Yeah,
so
the thing.
Oh, there it is.
Very large appendage. It's more than halfway to the ground. I just have not seen any power flashes or anything to confirm. Like Nick was saying a little bit earlier, the winds are kind of calm, but it's starting to pick up now. It's starting to get a little bit of, oh man. Hang on just a second. This is going to be, again, just right on the southwest side of Eric. We do have some traffic that's moving around here. You can see it's just extremely low hanging right there.
Okay, we're looking at your shot there, by the way, and we're waiting for the lightning to light up the sky just to get a bit of a better view of it here. Michael, you have eyes on it. You say you're on the southwest side of Eric?
Correct.
Okay, all right. So what we're looking at here, let's see, flipping the radar over. So Michael, at this current track, by the way, it looks like it would be moving more so up to the northeast, but Prentice, Berlin, Cheyenne in the 11:25 hour. So watching that right now, it's 10:35.
It may be going away now a little bit,
Is it going away?
Damon. Not seeing it quite as pronounced now, which is good. If it would go ahead, and here's the thing: a lot of storms rotate, but not many of those actually go ahead and produce tornadoes. So it's possible that this is just kind of a strong low-level mesocyclone. It occasionally produces some lowerings here and there, and it doesn't produce a tornado. That would be fantastic if that were to happen, because of course this is pretty much right on top of Eric. So, but it looks like the feature that I'm seeing is starting to kind of diminish now a little bit. So,
okay, all right. Well, Michael, you and Nick, you're right on it, and so stay on it. We'll talk to you in just a bit. We'll go back up to this tornado warning in just a second, but I know there's a lot of information coming into the news desk. What do y'all have?
Emergency manager, and he gave me an update on, we had mentioned a woman was missing. They were searching. We've now learned a woman and her daughter, they were in a vehicle. He says at this point it's dark out there, some transmission lines are down, so crews are using headlights and flashlights looking for this mother-daughter duo who went missing during the storm when this tornado moved through. Fire crews, deputies are out there right now searching. He also said there was a report that a home was hit, but that it may have had light damage to it. But the concern right now, Abby, it seems, of course, they're trying to track down this mother and daughter.
The Major County Sheriff telling me, I asked for an age. Is it a child? He said it's likely a teenage daughter, an adult mother, and a teenage daughter. They were traveling in that area west of Fairview, right where that tornado moved through. Highway 60 and 243, where those power lines are down. They were traveling, talking to someone, and they lost connection. And so they're out searching. I've asked if they have a car description for us to pass along to you. I could tell that he was walking while I was talking to him. So it's still very active out there, but just news that you don't want to report, especially after seeing the images we've seen from our chasers of what moved through Fairview, to know that a mom and a daughter are now unaccounted for.
And I can tell you right now that this has gotten the attention of everybody there. The emergency manager in there just reached out to me saying search and rescue crews are looking for people who could have been victims of this storm. So, Damon, we're worried about that. Power outages with power lines down all over the place. There's about 10% of the power is out in Major County, about 13% in Alfalfa County without power right now, Damon. So it's an issue tonight.
And power is out in Wichita as well right now. And so with this storm that's moving up to the north. So again, here's Kansas, here's northern Oklahoma. This is our tornado right here. It's going to pass in between Wichita and Medford. It is starting to get a bit of a faster pull up to the north. And so at that current track, it's driving out of Oklahoma, but it's still in Oklahoma for a little bit. Medford, you're okay. Wichita, I know the power is out, but right now the tornado is going to be just a few miles to the east of town. So want to give an update on that. Also want to give an update on the storm that we have right now down in western Oklahoma currently, where that storm, that is still tornado warned. Let me check in with Nick Smith here. Nick, what's the update that you have?
Yeah, right now, Damon, I'm taking a look at, I've gotten in a place where I got a better view. I'm just kind of scanning the sky right here. This is like under like the mezzo of it. Like it's got just the part that's spinning, and see all these things that are hanging down right here. This is all stuff we're watching. It's constantly moving. It's coming up and down. It's getting its act together in different places. So we're watching this. We don't have anything on the oh man, in the middle that,
What is it?
hold on just a second, Damon.
Yeah, I see what you see, by the way.
Yeah, it's just scan by scan, it'd be scan by scan, but it's lightning by lightning in this case. There's an area that with indefinite spin here, so we're watching this. We're on the west side of, we're on the east side of Eric right now, and just south of I-40, and we're looking back, kind of the northeast right now, and just a little bit of northeast of us. So I'm sorry, northwest of us. Sorry about that. But we're watching this, and if we see anything else, I'll yell at you.
All right. And by the way, I see what you're seeing there too, by the way, Nick. Let me go out to Michael. Michael, he's also by there, and then we'll check in with Shane here in just a bit. Michael, how's the storm look?
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. The visual features are not exactly matching up with the radar, which does not surprise me because we're a long way away from any radar site right here where we're at. But you can see in my shot very clearly there's a left edge of a wall cloud and a right edge. And so this is moving basically right on top of Eric is where it's at right now, but I don't see anything hanging out of it, which is good news there. I'll bring my camera around until this person passes us because the lights of the vehicles make it really tough to see. But you can see that there's a lot of structure with this storm that extends up to the north too. So it's a pretty well-developed supercell. It just doesn't, from a radar standpoint, it is not anywhere near the intensity of the storm that was up in northern Oklahoma, but that doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. We're just still going to monitor it and treat it as though it has a tornado until the tornado warning is gone.
You're talking about, how we got to treat these storms, especially in the nighttime. So just a heads up, brand new severe thunderstorm warning. We'll go back over to the radar here. Brand new severe thunderstorm warning was just issued. And this one is now pulling the storm a bit more up to the northeast. And so it doesn't include Elk City, but it does include Cheyenne. Let me go out to Shane Helton right now. Shane, how's the storm look from where you are?
Well, Damon, we're seeing quite a bit of lightning in these storms. It's kind of surprising that there's so much lightning in this storm because usually with this amount of lightning doesn't come in until later in the spring. But we're seeing a lot of lightning. We're seeing a few areas here of that we're keeping our close eye on. We are on the northeast side of the storm right now. We're between Elk City and we're straight north of Sayre between Elk City and Sweetwater. So we got a little bit of wind. It's probably up to about 10, 15 mile an hour and light sprinkles. Damon, back to you.
All right, watching that storm again right now, warned for quarters and 60-mile-per-hour winds. This storm, though, that we have up here in northern Oklahoma, that is going to be up in between Wichita and Medford, still continues just to be a horrible storm. And since I like to look for the good news in all of this, the rotation is not as tight as what we saw even just a few scans ago, but it's still rotating. And the way that this storm has behaved, you cannot turn your back on it, even if it's getting ready to move up into Kansas. So if you have any friends, family, southern Kansas, south of Wichita, just give them a heads up and say, I know that you have a severe thunderstorm watch, but there has been a horrible storm that has tracked across northern Oklahoma that is making a run now up into Kansas, and it's still rotating. And so just want to pass that along for our friends that are up north because this is a storm. So Wichita, you're good. And I know power's out in Wichita right now. Medford, you're not in the tornado warning. Renfro, this storm is just west of you, but the storm is still rotating as it continues to move up to the north here. And so while the couplet may not be as tight as what we saw before, it's still one that we are definitely not turning our back on. The debris inside of it, it's still there. So here's what I want you to look at. It's that blue dot and just follow that. That is debris. Now, the last scan, it looks like debris may have fallen off the radar. Maybe it fell out of the sky, no longer seeing it. Or it could also just mean that it's a lot of grass that the storm is currently going over. And so we'll see if it returns. But that blue dot right there is a well-defined debris ball, a debris couplet, and that right there confirms this tornado. So that is just a horrible thing. Hate to see this, but given the reports that we have been passing along to you all tonight, this storm has definitely been just a bad one, an absolutely horrible one. So our rotation tracker here, as we're watching it go up to the north, by the way, there have been a few moments this evening when this thing was pinging extreme and beyond. Now it's down into the strong category, which is still a big deal, by the way. Let's hope that it can continue to weaken, but this storm is not that far away now from crossing into Kansas. This tornado warning is set to expire at 11:15. That's 30 minutes from now. This storm, though, will be in Kansas before then, definitely before then. So here's what we have right now. Big picture, still don't see a whole lot happening here for central Oklahoma, OKC, which means going to bed tonight, you're okay. But we have to watch this storm complex right here. Let me go back out to Michael. Michael, what do you see?
Yeah, it looks like the inflow notch is now well north of I-40, just a couple of miles northeast of the town of Mayfield. So it's going to be northwest of Sayre, now moving toward Berlin, and it is moving to the northeast pretty rapidly at this point. The storm seems like it has picked up in speed quite a bit from what it was earlier. So we're hot in pursuit. We are coming down east on I-40 towards Sayre, and it will pass, based on what it looks like right now, it looks like it will pass north of Elk City and north of Sayre. But if it back builds, that could change. So we just need to really stay on guard here in Beckham County.
And the environment is still definitely supportive of tornadoes tonight, and so brand new tornado warning is going to be issued for this. Actually just went out, and so this one is going to be, let me actually zoom in here, give you all a closer look at what this storm is doing. But it looks like this newest tornado warning that we have is going to stay north of Elk City, north of I-40 here. Shane's in it, Amanda's there, Nick, Storm Command. We have the storm surrounded right now, and so when we were talking to Nick earlier, we did see a few lowerings from time to time. Amanda there in Elk City, she's watching it. Shane's on it as well. Right now, tornado warning, and this tornado warning is going to go until 11:15. Now, this is our base tornado warning. This is not the same type of tornado warning that we had earlier, the PDS tornado warning up in northern Oklahoma, but still got to treat it pretty seriously. Again, it goes until 11:15. Let me go out to Nick right now. Nick, what are you seeing?
Yeah, so Damon, right now I'm on I-40 going back towards we're going back towards Sayre right now. I got a pretty good lowering in my shot. The problem is there's quite a few little ragged areas, but this is the one that's been the most persistent that I've seen over the last probably 2 or 3 minutes, and it's a little bit lower than all the other ones. So we're just going to continue to watch this. You can see it right there in about the middle of my shot. Maybe, yep, it's in the middle of the shot. Wait till the lightning hits, and you'll see it. There it is. And yeah, that thing's persistent. So we're going to continue to watch this, and we're just like Michael. We're trying to get it back up and get ahead of it so we can stay with this thing. Back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we're watching it. We see your shot there, putting a storm track on up to the northeast. It's Cheyenne, 1122, Hammond, 1143. At this current track, it would stay north of Elk City. Again, it would stay north of Elk City, but just a heads up, if you're north of I-40 here, anywhere from Grimes, Cheyenne, the Wildlife Refuge, Hammond Junction there, it is heading in your direction. And so nothing on the ground, and our crews are on it. We have this storm surrounded right now as it continues to track up to the northeast. So Elk City, storm moving north of you. Let me go back in here. Brand new tornado warning was just issued for this one, or I should say it's continued. It's the smaller one, by the way. This goes until 11:15. This is barely hanging on into Oklahoma here. So each square that you see, by the way, is about a mile. So we're 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 miles south of the Kansas state line here. That would be your tornado. So Wichita, you're in a better spot. I know power has been out in Wichita. Medford, you're okay. Renfro, I know the tornado warning polygon cuts right through town, but the storm is west of you, and so this is moving up towards this 2? I think so. You got 2. Oh, you probably have 2 of them in here. And so you have this one right here, and then probably have this one right here, yeah. And so you probably have two areas of spin. I just saw that one right there. That polygon went right over it, but there it is. There's a little one right under that polygon. So you have 2 areas of spin, it looks like right now with this storm moving up to the north. Okay, let me get a closer inspection here. It looks like the polygon was right on top of it. Okay, just we're closing in here, but here's Renfro, here's Wichita. So that would be an area circulation. That would be one as well. Let me check the debris inside of this. Don't believe that we would probably, no, I don't see any debris inside of this one. Not like we did earlier, that deep blue ball that we had here. So let's hope that this storm is trying to weaken a bit here. It looks like if there's any rotation that's going to be stronger than the other one, it would be this one on the right with our rotation tracker. That's the stronger one compared to this one on the left. But Renfro, this is moving up to the north. Medford, you're okay. Pond Creek, you're okay. Lamont, Tonkawa, Blackwell, Ponca City, you're okay as well. Nescatunga, you're still hanging on to that severe thunderstorm warning just for a little while longer. For you all, that warning goes until 11:15 for this storm here that has now lifted well north and is headed up towards Manchester. So bottom line is that this storm is about to leave the state. It's about to go up into Kansas. And hopefully, we can just get rid of this storm and this storm can fall apart, because this has been a horrible storm. And the pictures are not going to be kind when the sun comes up in the morning with this storm, with just the path of damage that we are going to see with this storm here. It is not going to be good at all, from Wichita and up into far northern Oklahoma. So we'll be watching that one. Outside of that little tiny shower coming up in the Woodward, that's not anything too concerning right now. Let me check in right now with Shane Helton. Want to go down back out to western Oklahoma. Shane, how's the storm look from your vantage point?
Well, Damon, we're watching this area that kind of looks like a lowering. I know at first I could see right through it because lighting was on the back side of it and it had lots of holes in it. But as it's been coming together a little bit more, it looks more like a lowering. We're still we're watching it closely, but we're not seeing any funnels or anything like that out from underneath it. But right now we're still just getting that 10 to 15 mile an hour wind, those raindrops, and that's pretty much it right now. A lot of lightning, lots and lots of lightning though. Damon, back to you.
Yeah, quite a bit of lightning in there. The rain is good. The severe weather is not. Let me check in with Nick Smith. Nick, I know the last time that we talked, you certainly had some ominous looking lowerings in your shot. Do you still see them, or are they gone away?
No, they're still there, Damon. We're still able to watch it. It's in the middle of my shot right now. We're coming up on the west side of Sayre right now, and we're gonna blast north here in just a second. But we are if you're in Sayre, we're gonna be going north on 283. We're coming up to that exit right now, I believe, and that's exit 20. So we right now we're just watching this. Got some trees in the way right now, so it's kind of hard to see, but there is a persistent area that does it concerns me. I'm not going to say it's rotating, but it is a lowered area that is persistent. I think that with what we've seen happen tonight, we need to treat this with maybe a little bit more caution than just it's lowering. It's maybe not that big of a deal after what we've seen happen up north of here, or northeast of here. So we're definitely going to stick with this thing. I mean, we've got to surround it, I feel like, on all sides right now, with it being one of the worst storm, or one of the more aggressive storms in the state, I guess is the best way to say it. And so we're going to stay with this. We're going to let you know if we see anything, and we'll get back to you.
And you're right there, is that definitely, given the news and what we have seen and the way that these storms have behaved tonight, is that we are definitely going to treat them with a lot, we're serious with all these storms, but definitely just given what the environment has done ahead of it, yeah, we're watching this one, absolutely. The tornado debris signature, by the way, that we had on the northern Grant County storm, and that was by Wichita, that has since dissipated, which is good. Let's just get an update on this storm right here, because we just want to get rid of this storm. I mean, this storm is horrible, and so it's about to cross into Kansas. Right now, it's going to be west of Renfro. It's this complex right here, this storm that's lifting up to the north, and so the tornado warning stops right at the Oklahoma-Kansas line here. So there's not much Oklahoma real estate left for this storm, and let's just get rid of it. But it's we've lost that debris signature. The winds are still in a favorable path, however, for this storm to at least still be an issue, even as it goes into Kansas and even going into western Oklahoma as well right now. Let me switch over the radar. The winds are feeding right into the storm in a path right now that is definitely going to at least keep a tornado risk with it. Let me check in with Storm Command. Michael, how's the cell look from where you are, Michael?
Yeah, Damon, we are just on the northeast side of Sayre right now. We got to stop for fuel. We do have a view of the whole lowered area, but we definitely need Amanda and Dave and Shane to be ready to the north and east. I know Tucker's there with Shane also chasing, so our teams are out. So we've got multiple people on this storm, but we do have to stop for a quick pit stop here for some fuel. But as of right now, I haven't seen anything that really is super pronounced. the radar is not strongly suggestive of a tornado right now, but you've got to remember the storm is not nearly as close to the radar site as what it was. If you remember back whenever it was going up near Wakita, that was a completely different story. I mean, it was right next to the radar and you could see it very clearly. So we have to factor that in as well. But right now, radar is not particularly, indicative of a, strong indication of a tornado right now.
Yeah, absolutely. We see the winds there blowing in your shot there, and just looking at the atmosphere that we had out here today just goes to show you that where our highest tornado probabilities were earlier, that area was quiet. Where the tornado risk was a little bit lower, way outperformed. And so just an important thing to keep in mind as we go into the spring season is that if you have a tornado risk, whether it's low, medium, or high, you have a tornado risk. And so we have to watch it closely. Tornado watch remains in effect until midnight for these storms here. Right now, it is almost 11 o'clock. That's one more hour. It looks like Kansas, the National Weather Service in Wichita, just issued a tornado warning for this cell that is now crossing into Kansas here. So we're about to say goodbye to it. And for those up near Caldwell, Kansas, just a heads up, that storm is coming in. And it has had a horrible history with it. So this tornado warning is set to expire in about 20 minutes, but that storm is going to be out of Oklahoma probably in the next 5 minutes. So great to pass along, but thinking about our friends that are from Wichita down to Belle Plaine and Wellington, Kansas, because that storm is going to be impacting them, and it has not been kind to Oklahoma. Our storm down here, down in western Oklahoma, continues to track up to the northeast. For those in Elk City, the storm is going to stay just north of you. And so at this current track, it's right now moving at about 30 miles per hour. So tracking that up to the northeast, I'll go ahead and track the rotating segment of the storm at about 35. That would bring it into Cheyenne here at 11:20. Hammond, 11:41. Let me go back out to Michael. Michael, what do you see?
Yeah, I wanted to, you mentioned the flag just a moment ago. Damon, it is really blowing. This is probably some of the strongest inflow that I have seen yet. And I'm actually starting to see something concerning. It's going to be in the mid-levels of the storm, but there is a little bit of rotation now starting to pick up. It's going to be just to the west of Berlin. And I don't know if you can see it. I'm looking from Frederick radar, by the way. And it's just going to be just south of Grimes and probably about 5 to 6 west of Berlin. So this is east of Sweetwater. It's north of Sayre. So it's north of I-40. It's not impacting I-40 at all. But there is some motion now that I am seeing certainly on radar. And that coupled with, you see that flag blowing in my shot right now. This has got pure, strong south and southeast winds that are flowing into the storm that have been untouched by other storms. So that's concerning.